Cuboid Lite from Joyetech with ecig D22 tank. Let's have a butchers. Hey guys, Vick here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this. This is the Joyetech Cuboid Lite, an 80-watt built-in battery mod from Joyetech. Comes with the ecig D22 sub-ohm tank / mouth-to-lung tank. This has a range of features on it as a tank. You can mouth-to-lung it. It has air holes and a coil, perfectly suited for mouth to lung. It also comes with a sub-ohm coil as well, and you can adjust your airflow wide open if you want to use it as a sub-tank as well. Basically, it is a very tiny version of the Cuboid Pro, if you like, the Cuboid Pro or one of the other Cuboids. They've shrunk it all down, made it an 80-watt thing, a 22mm tank on top, and happy days, a more pocket-friendly Cuboid on the market. Let's go down low, have a really nice look at this, then come back up top for pros and cons of the Cuboid Lite. See you in a sec. Alright guys, here we are down low with the Cuboid Lite from Joyetech. There we go with the ecig D22 tank. Opening her up, we've got the mod here, we'll come back to that. We've got packaging, we've got loads of manuals and safety information and stuff, which is good. We have our tank, our ecig D22. We then have some extras. We have a charge cable, and we have a little box full of additional coils, O-rings and things like that. Interestingly also though, they do actually have an extension kit in here as well. So there's an extension piece there and a bigger bit of glass, and you can up your tank from 2mm capacity to 4mm capacity using those parts. So that's very positive as well. This is the ecig D22 tank. Now it has big wide open airflow if you want to use the 0.5 head, but it also has mouth to lung airflow as well if you want to use that smaller airflow there. So that's its sort of feature. It has top fill as well. If I can get to it, here we go. There we go. Oh, actually, it's actually caught on the top bit there. You can fill it up like that, but yeah, for some reason it keeps getting threaded. The threading's not great on this tank overall, to be honest. But yeah, it does have top fill. Could fiddle about with that to show you, but there we go. If you take the top off, pull the glass off, you can change your coil head as well. It unscrews from the base in the traditional style. But there we go. Normal 510 drip tip. Put your own drip tip on there if you want as well. There we go. Here is the mod, the Cuboid Lite. Fingerprint magnet, as you can see. Micro USB. There's the base, a bit of venting on there. Here's the fire button. As you can see there, we've got your 510. It is spring loaded. It's a very firm spring, but it is spring loaded. And it's been absolutely fine, this 510, no problems there. It's kind of like built in, so there's no way of it popping out or going bad or anything, which is good. There's the back. Not to be confused with the front, I have done that. But there we go. So let's screw a tank on and I'll show you around this thing. So that's registered that coil. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is on and off. There's also some classic Joyetech options once you've got it in off mode though. If you press fire and minus for quite a long time, it will show you the actual battery voltage at that moment in time. Fire and plus will show you the TCR options. You can navigate those there, all that good stuff. 5 clicks is on, so if you want to do TCR or all that stuff, you want to turn it off first. Here we are. So this is the screen. We've got our wattage there, we've got our voltage, we've got our coil resistance and our amps there. You can change your power and all that stuff. It hides the point value when you're not adjusting it, but yep, you can adjust your wattage by using the plus and minus. You can go 1, 2, 3, and that takes you into the choice, so you can move through your TCRs, your power, bypass, clock, and all that stuff through there. It's also got other options as well, so fire and plus. So fire and plus takes you into the additional options. Pressing plus scrolls through these options. So you've got nicotine state there. That is for if you want to put a limit on how much nicotine you're going to intake that day. You've got your timeout. You've got your ENU state. I have no idea what that is at all. I'm sorry. We have this. Now this is a power limiting function. So what this does is it allows you to say the maximum power you're willing to have on, allows you to state the maximum power you want to be allowed per resistance, so it won't accidentally go off in your pocket or anything, and you know, burn out the coil. So that's quite a nice feature there. So there's a lot of options down there. Fire and minus takes you into stealth mode, but it's not very exciting to watch. There we go. So looking around her. There we go. There we go. I think it's a pretty mod. I think it's a pretty mod. But we really need to talk about this tank. So let's go back up top. Okay, guys, that was the Cuboid Lite with ecig tank down low. A couple of specs for you guys. Goes up to 80 watts. Has TCR. Has TC. All that good stuff. It's a 3000 mAh battery in here. And yeah, like I say, the tank comes with a mouth to lung head and a 0.5 sub-ohm head as well. The tank, let's talk about the tank. The mouth to lung coil, I might have got a dud one. They only sent me one coil head, but it was poor. It was very, very poor indeed. It couldn't wick fast enough at 14 watts. It was very fizzly, like we were really pushing the power on it, like it was reaching its limit at 14 watts. It wouldn't wick fast enough, the flavour wasn't good, and it didn't have that authentic mouth to lung feel. It was a tiny bit too airy. That happens sometimes with these vertical coil mouth to lung sub-ohm clearomizer heads. So yeah, so the mouth to lung head that I used at the beginning of the video, not a fan. I might have got a duff coil, don't know, but I'm not a fan of that coil head. Luckily it comes with a totally different coil head available as well. This 0.5 head which we've got in here now. Open the airflow right up, 0.5 head in, which is 20 to 35 watts, and I've got it at 33 watts, and it's vaping like this. Now this head's a lot better. You may have noticed the one slight snag with this coil head, really noisy. You know, it's like a fighter jet taking off. So it's noisy. The 0.5 head is noisy, but otherwise very good. Wicks very well, tastes very good, very nice vape around the 30 watt mark. So the sub-ohm head is very nice, but noisy. So yeah, so not a perfect tank by any means. Not impressed with the mouth to lung head or the way it vapes in mouth to lung mode, to be honest. And the 0.5 head, very good, but noisy. So not a perfect tank. But these kit tanks, you know, they're like kit lenses, aren't they, with DSLR cameras? You know, you'll use them for a bit, but ultimately you're going to want a better lens. You're going to want a better tank on here eventually. So use the coil head, see how you feel, then chuck a better tank on. So that's the tank, that's those things. The mod itself, though, I've got to say, really like this thing. I think the screen is very nice, very pretty. I like that it's got a big screen, a big fancy lovely screen, but it's not a touch screen. I like that. You know, we can have buttons and have a nice display. You know, it doesn't have to be one or the other. Super small. What can I compare it to? Could compare it to a summer's day, but maybe that's a stretch. The RX 2/3 in 2 mode, you can see quite a lot smaller there. A lot shorter, a lot smaller, very small mod indeed, very nicely sized. Maybe a fairer comparison, the iStick Pico, if you guys remember that from a couple of months ago. Let's hold it in a way that's more appropriate. There we go. So a similar size to the iStick Pico, if you've had a go on one of those. So small. It's small, it's compact, it's very light. But 3000 mAh battery according to the specs, so not that bad. Not that bad in terms of battery life. Obviously, built-in batteries, that's going to be a negative for some people. I know some people don't like built-in batteries. That is what this is. The fire button's cool. You can't press it right at the bottom. It is one big long bar, but you can't really press it right at the bottom. After halfway you can press it, and it's very clicky, responsive, no problems with the button at all. Really like the screen, as I've said. The navigation is standard Joyetech navigation, so if you've used Joyetech regulated mod before, you will be absolutely fine with the navigation, no problems there. Has TC, has TCR, all that good stuff. Nice 510, no 510 issues at all with this mod, and I have put it through its paces because I've been putting all sorts on here, messing around. So yeah, good screen, good battery life on paper for what it is size wise. Does all the features you could ask of it. Very small, pocket friendly, good looking. I think the mod's a winner. I think the tank isn't. Overall though, I would say it's pretty solid, pretty good. If I had to rattle off some negatives for the mod, I'd be struggling, to be honest. I'd be struggling. I think it's right up my street. In terms of a pocket mod, I think it's solid. A solid mod indeed. Yeah, so that's that, I think. The Cuboid Lite, very good mod. Bit of an iffy tank, but we're not too worried about that, are we, on here? So, great little mod in my opinion. The Joyetech Cuboid Lite. I've been Vaping Vick. Like, comment, subscribe, share, etc. And I'll see you again soon.